Saskatchewan farmland prices have been shifting in ways that might surprise you, and this upcoming year is looking to be a critical year. Some areas are showing untapped growth potential, while other areas are stabilizing in ways that we haven't seen in a decade. Today, we're diving into the key drivers behind these changes, uncovering what's fueling the trends, exploring why this year might be the perfect moment for investors and operators to act. But there's more to this story than just the numbers. If you are thinking about buying, selling, investing, or relocating in Saskatchewan, send me an email. My info's in the description below. Saskatchewan remains a cornerstone of Canada's agricultural sector, consistently recognized for its fertile land and robust farming economy. In 2024, the province saw farmland values continuing to rise, reflecting an enduring demand for high-quality agricultural land despite global economic uncertainties. This trend underscores Saskatchewan's attractiveness for both farm operators and investors, driven by strong fundamentals such as the province's capacity to produce global crops like wheat, canola, and lentils. The fact that there was a 7.4% increase in farmland values marked a notable milestone for Saskatchewan, leading all provinces in Canada for farmland appreciation. This growth is contributed to several factors, like the fact that the ongoing demand from local and international buyers who now view Saskatchewan as one of the safest places to put your money that will always be worth something that is currently right now appreciating in value, as well as a relatively strong performance from the agricultural sector with favorable weather conditions in key areas enhancing land productivity. Investors do seem to have confidence as farmland continues to be a hedge against inflation and economic volatility. It's also something that you can reasonably buy in larger quantities of bulk, especially in Saskatchewan. Now, as much as this growth does reflect some moderation compared to previous years, which were seeing double-digit increases in values, it signals that the market remains strong but is gradually stabilizing, which I think is relatively healthy. Now, with interest rates, the Bank of Canada's decision to maintain higher interest rates has tempered borrowing capabilities for some buyers, particularly those heavily reliant on financing. But despite this, farmland has retained its appeal among cash buyers and institutional investors who do see long-term value. We did see some lower commodity prices in 2024, especially for crops like canola, wheat, and barley, which have reduced farm operators' profitability, influencing their ability to expand or invest into additional land. However, the recent uptick in global food demand has helped counterbalance these pressures, keeping farmland values strong. Now, what we've noticed is that Saskatchewan continues to face limited supply in the farmland market, with fewer parcels listed for sale recently as compared to historical averages. Some of this scarcity is due to the generational land retention, where families want to keep the property in the family even if they're not still operating it, which can still be a good investment, of course, as we'd mentioned, as well as institutional investment companies that are swallowing up land in larger quantities, which can sometimes make it a little tougher for the local farmer to get another piece of land in their neighborhood. And of course, as we know, Saskatchewan farmland offers some of the highest productivity potential in the country, making it a really great asset to hang on to long term. And because there's not a lot of product on the market, limited availability continues to drive competition, ensuring that prices remain very strong. At the same time, there is some cautious optimism from locals depending on the desirability of a particular piece of land. Now, Saskatchewan's farmland market does vary across very diverse regions, reflecting differences in soil quantity, infrastructure, and agricultural practices. Northern and central Saskatchewan have been leading the way with near double-digit annual growth in farmland values. Southern Saskatchewan, while showing moderate growth, continues to see steady appreciation due to its established farming communities and proximity to key markets, like the oil industry, for example. Investment in infrastructure such as grain elevators, railways, and road improvements have enhanced accessibility and logistics for further boosting land values in convenient locations, which of course adds additional desirability. For example, in northern Saskatchewan, this area has seen a surge in interest due to its fertile soil and potential for growing high-yield crops like canola and wheat. We've put together some reports that have shown farmland prices in this area selling for record-breaking prices due to competition among buyers. In central Saskatchewan, as an example, farmland near the major centers like Saskatoon has its benefits due to the proximity to the urban areas, where operators in this region often invest in larger parcels to capitalize on economies of scale. Recent sales are showing that well-irrigated land in this area can sell for premiums up to 20% higher than comparable dryland farms. In southern Saskatchewan, we have seen cases where there is stability with buyers prioritizing arable land for wheat and lentil production. While prices in this area don't spike as sharply as they do in the north, sellers consistently find buyers willing to pay fair market value. But if we look at the history over the past 10 years or so, land prices have on average increased from 5 to 10%, which is showing an overall value price increase, which is a bit of a blanket statement across the entire province of land values almost very close to doubling what they were nearly a decade ago. With factors like the post-pandemic investment boom, rising commodity prices, institutional interest, and inflation, as well as interest rates, farmland is becoming more and more of a desirable commodity. What we are seeing from buyers, especially operators in the local community, is those that have generational family farms with a large future ahead of them are, instead of looking at speculative farmland investments, are looking for the big picture long term. It's the most sustainable way to build their farming practice without leveraging the farm as far as possible. Now, canola prices, for instance, are predicted to recover from recent dips, potentially spurring renewed interest in farmland investment in the coming months. Interest rates, however, have significantly increased the cost of borrowing over the last few years, which makes the cash buyer a lot more of a strong position in today's market. Experts predict that interest rates may stabilize towards the coming months as inflation starts to cool, which should increase some additional stimulation in the market there as well. Some of the agricultural policies for Saskatchewan farmers may also see adjustments to agricultural subsidy programs for incentives that encourage sustainable farming practices, as well as tax implications that continue to roll out, including capital gains exemptions. Don't forget the advancements in farm technology, which create a more optimized farm production, also do allow you to work the numbers over a longer term when it comes to your ability to purchase farmland at fair market value. We also do see seasonal trends as well. Of course, following harvest, there is generally more activity in the market, but it also comes down to what is available for supply at that time. And as farmland opportunities come onto the market throughout the year, what it comes down to is who's available to take advantage of that opportunity when it presents itself. Local farm operators, of course, oftentimes have operating lines tied up into input costs. Investors can oftentimes take advantage of opportunities that come up during the busy season. So if you are thinking of selling, now could be the perfect time. If you are thinking about buying, there are still really good opportunities for farmland right now. And if you're looking at buying farmland, now can still be a very, very good time to get into the market so long as you see the perspective over the long haul with an optimistic operation or investment perspective. If you are curious of what your farm might be worth, or if you have further questions about the market in Saskatchewan, send me an email. If you are thinking about buying, selling, investing, or relocating in the province, I'd be more than happy to help. Thanks for being here today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful, fantastic day, and I will see you on this video next.